Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick introduction to my disability as well as making this Robert Indiana Lego sculpture. So I've just opened the box. I've got this Robert Indiana sculpture. Here we are. It says Robert Indiana there. I've got all the bags to get out. New instruction booklet. So before I get into making the Lego, so first of all, I've been disabled in different ways for the majority of my life, which was very confusing. When I was a child, the first medical hurdle I had to get over, I couldn't exactly remember it all, but I know I ended up being with quite a big wonky swollen head in some way with very short hair, and I've been told by my parents what had happened to me, so I guess it was probably a bad thing they don't want me to know about. Here's the Lego. After that I grew my hair long and my face was then symmetrical, and I was just a cute small kid just learning how to be a kid. And then when I was 7 years old, I ended up getting a facial palsy, which kind of ruined my life. I got bullied anyway for being small and having holidays, and then one of the kids' parents couldn't afford them. When I look back at this time, I still can't remember much except someone called me ugly when I got back to school. Still fuming that my parents didn't think to get me an operation at the time. Mental health really suffered, and by the time I got to age 11, I was really badly mentally ill. And that's before I even started getting symptoms of a muscle wasting condition. Yeah, I think that's all the Lego out of that bag. So when I was in high school, I started showing symptoms of a muscular dystrophy around age 14. Bag number 1. I've got a Lego separator here. About age 14, I know my legs felt weaker and I refused to run in PE. I started to get discomfort in my right shoulder, which turned out to be something called scapular winging. And when the doctor at the hospital saw it straight away, he said, yes, it's facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. And at the time I paid no attention to that. I was so unbothered and didn't really care because of my mental health issues. And I also was going on holiday in about 3 days after that, so that was my focus at the time. As you can see, I am trying to build some Lego and can't concentrate at the same time. When I was the ages of 16 to 18, I used to walk a lot going from my house to Leeds College of Art in Leeds City Centre at back, so I kept my mobility up without really thinking about it much. I was more bothered about making artwork, making friends, and drinking beer. I even went to university in London when I was 18, but things started to go wrong for me quite quickly. I started deteriorating mentally and couldn't quite keep up with the amount of work I had to do. And even though I was doing a dream degree, which was product design at Central St Martin's, I was struggling so much I failed my first year. Therefore, I have no degree, but I'll talk about my time at university and my mental health another time. Back to my physical health. So after uni, I moved back home and was now in my mid-20s with no degree, a facial palsy and a muscle wasting condition, which was starting to get worse. I noticed my life getting weaker when I was working at Yorkshire Sculpture Park in West Bretton in Wakefield, but I kept going and tried my best to work there for as long as I could. After that I worked at M&S Food during the start of COVID, which is a silly thing really, because I shouldn't have been working. Anyway, after working at M&S Food, my left shoulder and right leg started to get worse. I was getting scapular winging in my left shoulder and I was getting a foot drop, which required a splint on my right foot. I've had quite a few nasty falls due to catching my right foot on things, and I didn't really fancy getting my head smashed in again. Fast forward to now, I have scapular winging in both shoulders. I have two very weak legs, but I can still manage to just about walk up the stairs in the house. I have facial weakness from the FSHD as well as the facial palsy, so you can see why I want to hide my face on YouTube for now. I have weakness in my core strength, which makes my spine curved forward and causes pain. I walk a tad funny, which is annoying, but I have a wheelchair for longer distances and go out for meals when it's family members' birthdays. As for the future, there are no treatments available to help stop the muscle wastage of FSHD. The FSHD community are desperate for a cure for this hideous disease. I used to do hydrotherapy to keep my fitness up and my weight down, but now I can't exercise, so I've got a bit chubby again. I know there will be a time when I can no longer walk. I know there will be a time when I can no longer talk to people around me. It's heartbreaking and I hope every day for a cure. If you watch this far, thank you. I hope you've hit the subscribe button and followed along with my journey. And the rest of this video will now be the Lego build. So I've been reading off my phone for that. So now I'll do the Lego build. Hello, so I've got the owl made, finally. And now I'm on to bag number 3. So I'll let you know how that goes. So here we have the E, which is on the L, and then we have to do the V and the O. Which is in this booklet here. Okay, so I've just been doing the Robert Indiana LOVE Lego build. So now I'm going to put the O on the top, the V on the bottom, and see what it looks like. So I'll just pop you here whilst I try and figure out how to put all these in place. So it takes some force. Right, put that one in. It's time for this absolutely massive O. Well, something just flew off the top. And here we go. That is the Robert Indiana LOVE. Oh, it's 2 instruction booklets. So that is what it looks like. And this is going to be the end of my video. Thank you and goodbye.